probably more important than our water quality tests is something that all of you could do anytime you go to a creek or a river or a lake. If it's just a picnic or camping or whatever, take a look in the water and see what you can find living in the water. If you find all sorts of insects, fish, frogs, crawdads, any of those critters, that's a good sign that the water is healthy. If you can get in the water, even better. You can flip over rocks. If you can get a net, you can catch all sorts of critters. The more different things that you catch probably is a good sign that the water is very healthy, especially if you find it. Looking at our Water Watchers critter checklist here, we've got different plants and insects on here, adult versions and nymph versions. So we're going to fill up our bucket with some water, get our kick net out, and see if we can catch some of these critters on our checklist. Got our bucket filled up, got our kick net ready. Take a look in the bottom, you can see there's a nice mesh screen that'll let the water out, keep the bugs in. So let's do some fishing with the kick net. Give a good kick with the foot. Got some muck. You don't see any critters crawling around. Poke around a little with your finger. If you don't get anything, rinse it out. Try again. Looks like we got some sort of beetle here. My guess is a riffle beetle. We'll have to look on our sheet later to find out for sure. Let's get him in the bucket. Oh, looky there. Looks like we got a real nice sculpin. They look a lot like a tadpole, but they are fish. They got fins. Let's get him in our bucket. Nice looking sculpin there. Let's keep fishing. Here's a real interesting one. Looks like a hollow stick, but inside there is a larvae. We'll put that in the bucket. A lot of times once they get back in the water, they'll poke out and start crawling around. Another sculpin. We're having a good day. Wow. Trophy sculpin here. Look at the size of that. Looks like we got a good one here. Some sort of nymph. Let's see if we can figure out what we got. Kind of curling up in a little ball right now, but it looks to be, well, let's get him in the water. I think it's a stonefly nymph. That kind of freaked those sculpin out. Actually caught a couple, 3 others that I did not put in the bucket. Getting a little crowded in there. Trying to find more of the nymphs and insects. Now a nymph is an insect that lives in the water. It will undergo metamorphosis and become an adult, like that stonefly nymph and this caddisfly larvae. They will both eventually grow wings and emerge out of the creek, and then you'll find them out flying around in the air. Now I got another fish, but this one is not another sculpin. I just so happen, and you can see he's a lot more active, caught a little, let me take a look and see, looks like a little brown trout. So we'll put him in the bucket. We'll see if we can get a better look at him later. Oh, out of the bucket he came. Very active for the, compared to the sculpin. Hopefully he'll calm down. I'm not going to keep him in here real long.
because as we learned, the water temperature gets too high, it's very unhealthy for them. So we'll let him calm down a little bit, see if we can get a better look at him later. But I am going to release these fairly soon because that water in the bucket is going to heat up a lot quicker than the water in the creek. Alright, we're back to our bucket here. I'm going to try and get a sculpin out for you to take a good look at in my hand. And then hopefully that little brown trout as well. We've got a caddisfly larvae. We had that stonefly nymph hiding in there somewhere. Let's see if we can get this big guy out. He's pretty docile. So there's a good look at a sculpin. Try and get no shade on it. Put him back. See if we can get a look at our little trout. Now anytime you find a trout in a creek, that is a good sign that the creek is healthy. We don't want him to freak out too bad. So there's a good look at our brown trout. Alright, back in they go. Time for them to social distance. So we'll put them back in the creek now. Oh yeah, got a good one. Let's get him in the bucket. Curled up right now, but two tails. Looks like a salmon fly. No, stonefly nymph. Stonefly nymph. Whoa! Sometimes you never know what you're gonna catch. Look at this big brown trout we got in the net. Beautiful caddisfly larvae. Little tiny cocoon made with little pebbles, and there is a caddisfly larvae inside of there. Let's go put it in the bucket. Larvae, and we also got a water strider. I call them water skippers. We have a whole bunch more of the caddisfly larvae clinging to this rock underwater. Alright, looks like some bugs and another sculpin. Bucket time. Another variety of stonefly nymph, two tails. This little guy looks like maybe a mayfly nymph. Nope, two tails, stonefly. Here's a good one. This is a caddisfly larvae, looks like, that has emerged from its little cocoon, probably the little stick variety. Doesn't look big enough to be the kind that comes out of the rock cocoon. A lot of these critters like to hide along the bank where they've got some stuff to hide in. Oh yeah, look at that, a couple more sculpin hiding in the branches.
All right, let's take a look at our bucket here. We have a very good display of the diversity that you can find in a creek. Anytime you find fish in a creek, that's a good sign that the creek is healthy. But what do the fish eat? Well, they eat the bugs. If you have a lot of bugs, then you've got a lot of food. If you've got the fish, you've got good water quality and a good food supply. So with these sculpin, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got caddisfly larvae, stonefly nymphs, a little mayfly nymph, lots and lots of critters in the creek. So anytime you can find stuff living in a creek, that is an excellent sign that the creek is healthy. Time to let these guys go.